It's your boy ConcertViz34. Today I want to talk about the XL Center, formerly known as the Hartford Civic Center, opened in 1975. And since then, despite a couple years between 1978 and 1980, when the roof collapsed, it's been a very big part of the city of Hartford as far as bringing entertainment. You've had minor league hockey here since 1998. Before that, you had the WHA Hartford Whalers, which became an NHL franchise. You've had UConn basketball since the 90s. Men and women have played some big games down there. And for me personally, I've seen, that was my first pro hockey game was at the Hartford Civic Center. The last Whalers game, my second pro hockey game there at the Civic Center. And also saw a lot of different players like Tim Thomas and Mark Savard and Ryan Callahan, and some NHLers back when they were on their rise up the ranks, play minor league hockey here, whether they're the home team or away. I want to talk about this venue because I went to a show last week, Dead and Company. You guys may have seen the videos. Thank you guys for supporting. I saw this venue be full and live of energy, and recently I've seen this venue have a little trouble getting people out to minor league hockey, to college hockey, to even some of the scrub games on the UConn basketball, men's basketball schedule. And I think some things can improve so that this venue is not losing $2 million a year, so this venue is not shut down for good because of lack of making profits or having too much of a deficit in negative dollars there. First thing of 5 things I think that can help this venue out is there needs to be free parking for 2 different events. The Hartford Wolfpack, that's the minor league hockey team here, the Rangers affiliate here. The players go from the Wolfpack to the New York Rangers when needed, when they show promise or when someone gets hurt. And then also UConn men's hockey, same thing, they play downtown. Another event that should have free parking just so that we can boost people coming out. Now, this is done in Springfield, Massachusetts. They have a minor league hockey team called the Springfield Thunderbirds, and they have a free garage. Whenever you go to a game there and you have a ticket, you get free parking across the street. This is a huge thing because it encourages people to say, you know what, you're not going to have to pay $5, $8, $10 for parking. You can park for free right across the street, get here a little bit early, get a spot scoped out. As long as there's an open spot, you get in for free to this lot, to this garage, what have you. Hartford should do the same thing with the XL Center for these smaller events. These events are not going to sell out the barn here. Hockey, I believe, can hold around 15 to 16,000 in the configuration. That's not going to happen for minor league. So to get it closer, the lower bowl setup has about 9,000 seats. To get to 5,000, to get to 6,000 for certain games, if you have free parking, you advertise it, you say, hey, flash your ticket, you get free parking here. It'll encourage people to come more frequently downtown for some of these smaller scale events. The talent isn't as good as the pros here. Some of the games don't mean as much, but it still is affordable hockey in both forms, AHL and Hockey East, Division I hockey. Now, number 2 kind of contradicts because I think contradicts number 1 because we should cut the Hartford Wolfpack. They should move out of Hartford, and I have a reason why. Minor league hockey has just under 40 games or so that are in Hartford, and that is too much just for the current market right now. Right now, we love our pro hockey. You look at the ratings for NHL games, the Hartford market is high for the playoffs every year. But for minor league hockey, people don't feel like going downtown and getting in the rush hour traffic. So we need to cut the I think it's around 38 games or so, I may be a little off, that they have for home games for the Wolfpack. If you take them out of this city, you move them somewhere else, good luck, see you later. And we just leave Division I college hockey in this town. That's about 10 to 15 events that are going to be in the city of Hartford, and that's a lot less. You go from about 30-something of the pro, the amateur AHL, and you only have 10 to 15 events left. You're going to have bigger crowds for those only 15 times you can see hockey downtown. So that should be something that helps the revenue, concession revenue, parking revenue for other lots, because you're not just going to have you have a free lot, but some people are going to want to park other places there closer to certain parts of 84 91. It'll help every event maximize profits, and when you maximize profits, you're going to have less of a deficit, because one of the reasons I think the XL has a deficit is we have all these minor league hockey games taking up space in the schedule where they could have a concert or they could have something that makes more money, and these events are only getting a couple thousand people. We're losing money. So let's cut the AHL, just have UConn men's hockey. That's number 2. Number 3 is for UConn men's basketball. They need to figure out ways to fill out this lower bowl and make that more of a focal point. What that'll do, I don't know if it'll increase attendance that much, but it'll give a better feel to go downtown and see a UConn basketball game. One of the big frustrations is UConn men's basketball starts off with a bunch of scrubs. They play some tough teams in the beginning of December, then they go back to some scrubs during Christmas, during the holiday break for the actual college there, UConn. And these games, there's a lot of empty seats. For games like this, you're playing a scrub opponent. They need to figure out a way to get season ticket holders that aren't going to show up and can't sell their tickets, take those tickets and upgrade fans who have already paid for a box office ticket. The reason that this will help is it'll encourage people to still come down and pay for a seat that's available in the mid-level or behind the basket or in the upper level. And then if there's a promise that, hey, if you bought this ticket early, you bought it on the on sale during the summer months there, you may be upgraded during a scrub game to a nice lower level seat where this season ticket holder is not going to be here. They know they can't come. You know, it's not, this is probably the least significant point of my 5 points, but I think it'll have a better environment for the collegiate basketball games there for the men at the XL Center. Upgrade fans from the upper deck to the lower level. If they can figure out, call season ticket holders, they probably know certain people aren't going to be there, and let them, you know, move down. And they also need to lower some of the prices for UConn men's basketball for some of the upper level seats. Make them a little cheaper. Make the cheap seats actually cheap. Some of these seats are still 20-something bucks, and the quality of play, let's be honest, is not as good as it used to be for college basketball. So that's number 3. Lower people down to better seats day of game, day before game, and also lower some of the upper level seats there. And number 4, this is the 4 and 5 are the big 2 ones that are the most practical and will make the most difference. Number 4 is going to be to steal concerts from Mohegan Sun Arena. It's an arena here that's part of a casino, literally right in the middle of a casino. Casino is about a 9,000 to 11,000 seat venue for concerts with an end stage there. And I think that this venue, Mohegan Sun, is cool to go to, but it still is a little ways out in the woods. There's a smaller population center in that part of Connecticut. And I think the XL Center has a really good opportunity to take shows that would be at Mohegan Sun usually and move them to Hartford. They are doing this kind of because what you're seeing is I Went to Dead & Company sold out front to back. They have that show that it's not at Mohegan, it's at the XL Center, and the band sells more tickets, and Hartford gets a boost in the economy, and really more people have access to this show because it's closer to the population centers. And then how they can do this is certain acts. I can think of one, Ed Sheeran. He did 2 shows at the Mohegan Sun Arena this summer. He could have did 2 shows at the XL Center, and each show would have had 3,000 to 5,000 more people depending on how they set up the stage. If not more, they put seats behind the stage, open those up, open the stage up. You could even get a couple extra thousand there. So if he had his shows in Hartford, it'd be a lot more livelier type of event. You're not stuck in a casino. You can actually go to the city of Hartford, and you would have more people that'd be able to get to that show, more access for the fans because there's more seats there. And this is what XL Center and the management, people operating, need to be snipers. They're doing a good job, but they can do better to snipe away at these different events that big name, like Bruno Mars. He did a show last year. His only show was his only like kind of concert in a venue, I think it was at Mohegan Sun, Take that show and put it in Hartford next time instead of Mohegan. Bruno Mars can sell out that. Maroon 5 is going to the XL Center next year. Another great example. That could have been at Mohegan. You know what? It's at XL Center. There's going to be a lot more people downtown, a lot more seats that they can sell, more money for greedy promoters who overcharge anyway. We've seen Roger Waters. I went to that show, same thing. A lot of people came out. It was a pretty full crowd. Stevie Wonder, same thing, very full crowd. And it was at the XL Center, not at Mohegan Sun. So my point is, some of these artists that are coming out and you know they can sell out an arena, they need to do more shows. Some of these country artists, they go to Mohegan Sun. I know they like gambling, and whatever. But if you have a Luke Bryan show here at the XL Center instead of Mohegan, you have an Eric Church show at the XL Center instead of Mohegan, it's going to have more ability for more fans to come out. Because Mohegan's very intimate, but it's smaller. So there's going to be less tickets sold. There's going to be less people that have a chance to catch this show between New York and Boston here as well. The second part kind of piggybacks on number 4. Number 5 is the XL Center has the opportunity to become the LA Forum of the Northeast. The LA Forum was a very popular sports and music venue in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s here in Los Angeles, California. There's many iconic concerts, many iconic sports moments. And then all of a sudden, in about 1999 or so, the Staples Center opens up here in LA. That venue has all the sports teams move over from the Forum to the Staples Center. A lot of concerts that would have been at the Forum are moved to the Staples Center. But then something interesting happened. The LA Forum was renovated. It was made up just to be a little nicer. They retrofitted some stuff to update it to modern day, convenience and luxury. And they now have a good set of concerts here, even though it's an outdated or an older venue right down the block from the Staples Center and many other great outdoor venues. And New Year's Eve, they're having a show. Dave Chappelle and John Mayer. Eric Clapton had a show here. Some other artists that can't get the Staples Center because that venue is booked. You have 2 basketball teams, hockey team. They go to the LA Forum. The XL Center needs to do this, and they need to be that option that, all right, if you only can do one Boston show because the Bruins are playing this day, the Celtics are playing another day, do a show here in Hartford. Same thing with New York. We're halfway between Boston and New York. Same thing. If there's some bookings for the Barclays Center, for Nassau Coliseum in Madison Square Garden, and these are the only 3 days you can come through to the Northeast or Mid-Atlantic, well, you know what? Have a show in New York, have a show in Boston, and add a 3rd show in Hartford. Okay? We're still along the corridor where people can go through 91 and 84 and get down to downtown Hartford. People will drive from Southern Connecticut, from even parts of Massachusetts that are closer, and you'll still get a big crowd. You'll have a lot of people versus, and again, we can be the Forum, LA Forum of the Northeast, because all these venues are booked beyond measure for the major cities, Bias, Boston, and New York. There's always an opening. That's what happened in LA. Venues are booked. Forum gets shows, even though it's an older venue. That can be Hartford. Definitely let me know what you guys think. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe. I love Hartford here as far as the events that I've been able to go to, and I think this city has some issues, but one of the things that can help this city out is by finding ways without throwing millions upon millions of taxpayer dollars into it, but by just using practical things to cut things, add things, market, and promote a little bit better, things can turn around just slightly. I'm a realist. I'm not over the top optimistic about how this thing could work out, but I think a couple changes and modifications can tweak the way things are done, and the deficit could be reduced. So like I said, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell me your take. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. It's your boy ConcertViz34, and I am out.